We find out Anthony Volpe is dealing with a partially torn labrum in the shoulder. I'm pretty sure I asked you about this months ago when he dove and he was out for a couple of games, and I asked you, do they need to rest him because I don't know if he's dealing with an injury. Turns out they reveal he is dealing with an injury, a partially torn labrum. He got a cortisone shot. They played Jose Caballero at short all weekend long. They win the series against the Red Sox. Jose Caballero did some damage, but he also has the headaches, as always, making outs on the base pass. But then he does amazing things where he steals third base, and Ryan McMahon hits a hard ground ball to second. He comes home, forces the ball. It's a bad throw, and then McMahon ends up on second as well, and they get another run off of that from Ben Rice. So, I mean, what's going on here with the Anthony Volpe situation? Has this guy been quietly benched by the Yankees by using the injury as an excuse?
All right, so let's go back a week. I think I wrote, and we talked about it last week, that I think Jose Caballero is going to be the shortstop. This was before I was the one who broke the story that that he got a shot for a cortisone shot for his shoulder. Before we knew about that, I was like, Caballero is going to be the shortstop. You just have to take this, the back end of the 12 games, that tension was taken away from the Yankees. What I also said last week was, if you play Jose Caballero enough, you'll see all the things you don't like also, right? And so we've seen some of that. And so I feel like Volpe's going to start one of the next two games in Minnesota. That's my gut. And Boone is going to see what it looks like. Did this calm down his shoulder? Did sitting kind of calm down? Whatever. And Boone is not going to give up on Volpe totally. I think he is of the mindset. I would remember this, like
the World Series last year.
Yeah, and also that last year there were, he took Clay Holmes out of the closer spot, right? Mm-hmm. He took Jose Trevino out of the starting catching spot. He let other guys win jobs as the season goes along. I think this is now a fluid situation. I feel like the first time, even if Volpe plays well for the next, he plays well, if he were in the lineup sometime in the next couple of days and played a couple of games in a row and it goes well, it's, again, part of the monster with them. Where it's the first time he, bounces one and Ben Rice, who can't scoop it all, has a problem with it. It's the monster and it's the narrative and it flows, and that's not a reason to not play the best option. I wonder at this point if you can make a case that Volpe is the best option, even healthy. Because I don't know that he's a better hitter than Caballero. I don't know that he's a better fielder than Caballero, and I'm positive he's not as good a base runner, and that's one of Volpe's strengths. I think Volpe's going to get a little chance here by Boone. Once again, I think Boone thinks he's a very good player, and that he could bring something. We'll see. We'll see. Caballero, I do think, again, You see it when he doesn't turn that double play. He gets absent-minded on the bases every once in a while. I know that Boone has been interesting on it, where because he told me this a couple of months ago. We were having a private conversation about base running, and he was like, I know what's said about us. He goes, I actually think we need to make more mistakes on the base. He says, I think we've gotten too, because of the word about us, he said, I think we've gotten too conservative.
Yeah.
He said, I think we have to try some things. I do think, again, teams are going to scout like crazy for a postseason series. And that move 40 feet off the base thing that Caballero does during the regular season, if you play with a team, that's an out. The pitcher's just going to step off, turn around, and you're out, right? I wonder a little bit about if the Mets get in. Juan Soto's steals all season are nobody paying attention to him. In the postseason, I'd like to believe that the best teams are going to be there, and you can't just do that. We'll see. Back to the Volpe thing. My gut is Caballero is, just because it takes something off the table around the team, and he does give the ability, when he gets on base, it's something. He could get absent-minded on defense, but he's better than this version of Volpe. I think it's him, but I think Aaron Boone is going to try over the next week. Like, play Volpe tonight, play Caballero the next day, play Volpe, and now Volpe plays well in the 2 games, play Volpe again. Did he play well? I think he thinks the best Yankee team has Anthony Volpe at shortstop.
That's crazy. I'm sorry. That's
But-
incorrect.
Yeah.
It's wrong thinking from Aaron Boone.
Yeah.
I've seen enough as a sample size from Anthony Volpe, and he could blame the injury if they want to use it as an excuse. I just don't think he's a good enough hitter. And I think Caballero, like you said, you deal with the headaches. He provides enough for you offensively when he gets on base, and the dangers that he can provide to another team, just running the bases. It's so much clean. It's so much better.
I do think what I would try to avoid if I were Boone is the situation from 2 years ago, 3 or what was it, where during the postseason you had kind of Falefa started games, Peraza started games, and Cabrera started games. I think once the postseason starts, he needs to have a shortstop. And whoever it is, and you try to go with it, unless you think a matchup is so specific, but it's both right-hand hitters. Like, I'm not sure that there's
The defensive part of this has to be coming to the equation as well.
Yeah,
You're
you
talking
just-
about Fried and Rodon, who get a ton of ground balls to the left side of the infield. I can't have a legit liability in Anthony Volpe there at short, where, again,
I also can't have a shortstop who thinks it's a running play into the line, trying to run to second base and not getting an inning-ending double play like
I hear
Caballero
you.
did
I
last
hear
night.
you.
I think, again, I went out on a limb a week ago and
Yeah.
literally wrote, I think this is going to be
Yeah.
how it goes because it's just too much noise around it. You could shut it off, and it's been shut off. Be curious who's playing shortstop the next 2 nights in Minnesota.
that's fine. You can play him versus Minnesota, and you can play him versus Baltimore. You can play him versus the White Sox.
But if you're playing them, you're trying to get them back.
But here's the thing. I'm not falling for that, though. That's like me falling for the Jets in week 1. Anthony Volpe can do well versus these teams that have AAA pitchers throwing out there that he can hit well against. Congratulations.
He hit well in the postseason against the best pitchers last year.
He did. AL Central teams last year.
He hit well against the Dodgers.
He finally showed up against the Dodgers, but all season long, what makes you think is going to be any different? Like,
I was on record a week ago.
Yeah, I know
I
you
think
are. I know you are.
Caballero will be the shortstop. I don't manage the Yankees. The guy who manages the Yankees I think if he was sitting here on Truth Serum would say our best team has Anthony Volpe at shortstop.
that's crazy. I think that's crazy.